Good day, Los Santos. I'm Isaac Martinson with Weazel News, and welcome to the first episode of the Martinson Minute. Through the Martinson Minute, I aim to bring a fast-paced, straight-to-the-point news outlet for all of Los Santos' individuals who want to know something about the small events happening inside of our city. Before we jump right into our first story and the happenings of this week in Los Santos, let's take a quick break to hear a word from our sponsor.
Adrenaline junkie? Isn't it time you tried Ego Chaser and took things to the limit? Enjoy these sexy shots of extreme sports and base jumping. But we mostly sell energy bars to desperate middle-aged men who haven't played sports for years, but are suddenly obsessed with triathlons. Hey, you could be a super athlete, even though you have an office job and a family you ignore. You don't have time for real friends. You're a warrior. It's an energy bar that's all about you. How big is your Ego Chaser?
In our first story, newly hired junior advertiser Chode Peterson decided to start meditating in the middle of the pier. Much to everyone's surprise, Chode managed to gather a few other individuals to meditate with him. Those including a few of my other coworkers, and eventually, myself. In a sometimes scary and daunting city, it felt like a much-needed break away from all the stresses that this city can cause us. Through the hums of peace, however, the calming sounds quickly transformed into religious provocations of worship.
Allahu
Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar, bitches.
Say, O Prophet, He is Allah, one and indivisible.
In our second story today, we look at some individuals who gathered together at the pier to celebrate their love for music.
Oh my god. Punch Chad.
Upon returning to the scene moments later, many people witnessed as the trucks they were dancing on were struck by an oncoming driver. This sadly sent a multitude of people into the air, falling to the ground and injuring themselves. One individual who was present at the time, Joseph Rosedale, gives us a rundown of what exactly happened.
So here we are standing at the side of the pier where something tragic and unfortunate has definitely happened. It would almost appear that a vehicle was struck and multiple people were injured. And who's going to pay for these piercing injuries? It's not like you can get a Band-Aid anymore these days. You have to pay $1,000 locally. But if you support the press, Bear is going to lower those costs.
And with those two stories out of the way, we're going to wrap up this first episode of the Martinson Minute. Thank you very much for tuning in, and we look forward to seeing you next week. Stay safe, Los Santos.